Good morning. Today I am talking about child safety. I had an email from my son's school the other day talking about child safety around the school, because apparently there was this car that followed somebody from a secondary school that's right near my son's primary school, and it was just to make us all aware. But it started me thinking about child safety and what we really need to be more aware of. So again, me being me, went down the rabbit hole of child safety, and I found some really good tips that I want to share with you. So that's what I'm going to be doing today in today's video. Hi, my name is Rachel. I'm a solo mum to one, and there's a bit of everything on this channel, from food hauls to money saving tips to days out with my son, as well as now giving you some advice on safety, because I think it's really important. If you do like this video, then do give it a thumbs up, and if you want me to do a part 2 or want me to do a car safety or female safety or anything like that, then do let me know, because I'm loving learning about safety at the moment and how we can be more vigilant to keep ourselves safe as well as keep our kids safe as well. And I'm also at the end going to show you a little tool that I bought from Amazon that I now have 2 of, and I've got them both in my car just in case I have a car accident, but I'll let you know at the end, so keep on watching. The first thing I'm going to talk about is child safety when it comes to swimming and water parks. I found 3 tips that 2 I wasn't aware of, 1 I was completely aware of, but I still think it's worth sharing. And the first one is swimming shorts. So I saw this clip on Instagram that if you put your kids in blue shorts or white shorts, you're not really going to see them if they go underwater and there's a problem. So therefore it's recommended that you put them in bright coloured shorts, green, orange, a luminous pink if you have to, or swimwear. This, obviously I'm talking shorts because I have a boy. But if you've got a little girl, then bright coloured swimming costume, not blue or white, because if they go under the water and there's a problem, you're not going to be able to see them because the blue will mix in with obviously the blue water. So these shorts now are garden shorts. So if you have the paddling pool out or anything like that, if the weather ever gets warm enough to do so, he can wear these in the paddling pool, because obviously it's in our garden. I'm always out there to keep an eye on him. But if we have to go swimming, he wears bright coloured shorts. I've only got green and red, so I am going to invest in some more bright shorts. And I'm also going to be passing this information on to his dad as well, because I think it's important when he takes him swimming abroad. That is one tip that I wasn't aware of, and it's so simple, but I just didn't even think of it. So let me know if you know that one. The next one is about wrapping our kids up in a towel. Now, I've always done this, always have. My parents did it to me, that when he comes out of the pool, I wrap him up like this. But what I've learned since is that if you wrap your kids up like this and then they walk to the edge of the pool and then they fall in the pool, the towel can become very wet and very heavy really quickly. So therefore it will be a struggle for them to get their arms out. And if they are small kids, that's going to be a really panic situation for them, even, well, for any kid really, but especially for small kids as well. So the advice is to get the towel, get them to lift their arms up and to wrap it round like you would if you were in a shower. So now you've got your arms free. So if they do fall into the water, they've got their arms free to help them. I've always wrapped it over my son's shoulders, but now I've learnt that trick. I will not be doing that anymore. And the final one that I've seen when you go swimming with your children, and it's very obvious to me, I've always done it. I never allow my son to go in the pool on his own. He's not of the age where he can go in the pool by himself at the moment anyway. Even though he does swimming lessons and he can swim, I still do not allow him to go in the pool by himself. However, if your kids are at the age where they can go in the pool, or you feel quite happy for them to go in the pool on their own and you don't have to go in with them, always pay attention to them. Always keep your eye on them wherever they are. It's very easy for us these days to look at our phone and check our phone or read a book or do something else while they're swimming, thinking, oh, just let them go and have fun. And if it does happen, it happens really quickly. So you do not want to keep your eye off your child at all times. Pay attention to them. It's really simple. It's really common sense, but it's also very addictive to get to our phone. It's very easy to pick up a book thinking they're fine, but in that split second everything can change. So make sure that if you're not going in the pool with your child, that they've either got somebody else in the pool with them or you are keeping an eye on them completely. So that is my 3 tips for swimming with your kids. I actually forgot one. I forgot one about the swimming. Crowded pools. Now, it's really easy to lose our child in a crowded pool, isn't it? There's lots of people, especially with the summer coming up, might be going on holiday to a different country, and there's going to be a lot of people from all over the world visiting the place that you are, and it could be very, very crowded. So therefore, you really do, again, want to pay attention to your child. Make sure that they've got those bright shorts on. Be really vigilant when it comes to crowded pools. If it's really loud and really noisy, it can be very easy, especially if you've got a small child, for them to get lost in that crowded pool. So be more vigilant around the places that are more crowded. Always make sure that you've got your child next to you. Always make sure that you've got somebody in the pool with your child. And again, like I said previously, pay attention to what's going on in that pool if you are not getting in there with your child. Things can happen really quickly when it comes to water, that you need to be very vigilant all the time. Anyway, let's move on. This is when I've just started with my child. I tried to do it a while ago, but he was just too young and didn't really understand. However, now he is much older and he understands more, and it's having that family code word. So a family code word is a word between you and your child, or your significant other and the child as well, and you have a specific code word. So if you've got teenage kids and they've gone out with some friends and they say, oh, come over for a play date, or come and do this, or come and do that, but they don't want to be bullied or made fun of by saying no, they can give you a call or they can text you with this particular code word. It can be anything from squash to badminton to cookie to anything you want, a specific word that you could use in a sentence. They could just text you that specific word, or they could call you and say, oh, Mum, do you have any cookies in? Then you will know that that's a code word for you to play the big bad wolf, and you to go, no, you're not going out. No, you need to come home. And, you know, be the big bad wolf where you're playing disciplinarian parent. You're saying no because your kid doesn't want to do it, but doesn't want to also get bullied by everybody else, or doesn't want to make it known at that point with a group of friends that they don't want to do something. So therefore they'll call you and you will tell them that they have to go home. It's also good to have that family code word for when someone has to pick you up from school. So if somebody else has to pick your child up from school, then what you can do is tell the person that's picking them up a specific code word that your kid will know. So when they say, do you know the code word? They will tell you the code word. If it doesn't match, they know not to go home with you. If it does match, then they know that it's safe to do so, because only they will know that code word that has been passed on by me or my significant other, which I don't have, but hey. But I think that's really important to have that code word for safety of your child. So if your child is of age where they can understand that, then it's really worth having that conversation and picking a code word. But again, it needs to be something that can be said in a sentence and not just said randomly, like banana or SpongeBob SquarePants, you know. Something that your child will know to use but doesn't use frequently enough. And again, you can change that code word every month, every 6 months, every year, whatever suits you. If it's used for somebody else to pick up your child, once that's done, you change the code word so it can never be used again. So that is something that my son and I are actually putting in place right now. We all teach our kids that lying isn't good, right? Sometimes it's okay to say a little white lie for a surprise or something like that, but lying generally is not something that you should be doing. Always tell the truth. However, it's also very important to learn to lie for safety. So my child isn't of age yet, but this is great for teenagers. So if somebody knocks on the door and your teenager is in, but you are out somewhere, and they say, oh, is your mum home? If they say no, that person, whoever that may be, will know that that teenage daughter or teenage son is home alone, and therefore can take advantage of that. But if they open the door and they go, is your mum home? They go, yeah, they're on a Zoom call upstairs. Or, yeah, they're out in the garden doing the work. Do you want me to go and get them? Then if they are somebody here that's not a nice person, they will make their excuses and go. If they're a genuine person, then they'll want to talk to your parents. So that way you can lie for your safety. So I need to delve more into that. But have you ever heard of that? Lying for safety. Also, it's kind of like if someone asks for their name, but they're not sure who they are, give them an alias name, give them a different name. So if somebody pulls up next to your child on the street and say, oh, what's your name? But you don't know that person, ask them to make an alias name, you know, like Virginia Phalange. If you know, you know. So it's always good to have that alias name. Lying for safety is perfectly okay, but lying to get yourself out of trouble is not okay. So it's very important for our children to understand that. And that is something that I still need to talk to my son about, but he's starting to come to that point now where he's going to understand that a little bit more. And I think as well, this is really good if they're in the park. It's like, oh, where's your mum? Because, oh, she's just there. Or, you know, oh, she's just there. I can see her over there. So that if someone comes to the park and tells them, oh, where's your parents, where's your mum, and then you can always point where they are. Which leads me nicely into the one that we all know, is to tell our kids that they don't follow strangers, even if they've got extra sweets or they've got puppies or they've got toys or they've got different flavoured ice cream from the ice cream van or whatever it may be. If they say, oh, come with me and find it, the answer is no. I spoke to my son about this the other day and I was telling him what he says, what do you say? And he goes, if anyone says to him that, oh, do you want to come and see some more Pokemon cards? His answer is, I don't like Pokemon. Because do you want to get some more sweets? I don't like sweets. And he'll just walk away from them. And that was his answer. So we've spoken about that already. And it's something that we continue to talk about on a regular basis. So it's drilled into his head what he has to do. Never go off with anybody. Even if they say, my daddy told me to pick you up. First of all, you need to use the code word. And second of all, if daddy hasn't told you or mummy hasn't told you that somebody else is going to pick them up, you do not go with them. So making sure that your children understand that, and that's suitable for all ages, not just older kids, but small kids as well. So make sure that you're doing that, because I think that's really important. It's one that everybody knows, but it's one that needs to be reminded about all the time as well. Okay, so the next one is, which I think is really important, and it has been going around on TikTok and Instagram for a while now, but I think it's also really important to say, is when you are going into a new place, like a soft play or a farm park or something like that, it's always good to take a photo of your child just before you go in with what they're wearing. So that if anything was to happen, you've got a very up-to-date photo that was taken that day just before you went into the park. I think it's really important to do that. It's something that I do with my son. At the entrance of wherever we may be, I take a photo of him in the clothes that he's wearing, which leads me nicely into my next point, which is if you lose your child, rather than keep shouting out their name, because there may be a lot of people with the same name, it's good to shout out their name and then what they are wearing. And if you're in that point of panic and you can't remember what they're wearing, you've got that photo that you took right at the beginning of going into the building or going into the park, wherever you may be going. So you can shout out black jeans, blue hoodie, Mario hoodie, red cap, orange shoes, yellow dress, whatever it may be. You can start shouting out what they're wearing with their name, so it gets more people looking for your child, rather than just keep shouting out Louise or Dylan or whatever your child's name is, because there might be other Louises, other Dylans that will come up and go, oh, is this yours? Is this yours? No, 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 no. But if you say my child's name is Lucy and she's wearing a Minnie Mouse t-shirt with pink shorts and silver shoes, then people are going to know exactly who they're looking for. And if anybody, God forbid, has decided to try and lure your child away, that person is going to then run away, because there'll be a whole park of people looking for them. I think that's really important. So remember to take your photo of your child in what they're wearing in front of the place that you're going into. And then if for any reason you get separated and you're lost, you can start shouting out their name and what they're wearing to get more people looking for your child. Therefore, you will find them a lot quicker. Into the final few safety tips I have for you is number one, which I do with my son, but because I'm a single parent, I have to do it with him. So it is to never let your child be the last out of the vehicle, because you don't know who's driving. If you're first out and your child's in there, they could drive away with your child. With my son and I, it's just us. We mainly go in the car just the two of us. So how I do it, because my son can obviously open car doors now, I always go 1, 2, 3, we open the car door together, we step out together, and we shut the door together, so that I have got out with my son. Whether we are just driving, just me, and I'm driving, it's just to make sure there's nobody else around, that he's not got out the car and waiting on the side of the road and somebody could just snatch him. I'm not saying that they will, and I'm not doing this to scare you. I'm doing this to make you more aware, to keep your kid safe. And then I'm strapped into the car still, and I have to undo my seatbelt, get out the car, and then chase. But if I'm out at the same time as my kid, I've got more of a chance of helping him. If there are more than 2 adults in the car, or you've got a taxi, then again, get out with your kid, or you let your kid get out first and then you follow your kid out as well. So you never let your kid stand out on the side of the road on their own while you get out of the car and sort yourself out, but also never leave your kid in the car so he's or she is the last one out, so that nobody else can drive away. Obviously, if this is family or anybody like that, it doesn't matter. If you've got a taxi or an Uber or anything like that, always make sure that they either leave the vehicle with you, or they go out first but you are directly behind them. I think that's really important for people to know, because a lot of people that I see when I'm driving around, their kids are either still in the car or their kids are hanging out on the side of the road while your parents are getting your phones and your bags and everything else together. My son knows to wait until I've got all the bags that I need, and then we get out of the car together. If I've got shopping, he stands with me and he helps me take the shopping in, or he will run down, I'll go and open the door for him, he'll go inside the house and I'll go back and get the shopping after, because my car is parked right outside my house anyway. So that's something else that I do. And finally, the most important one is to have a good line of communication with your child, so that they don't feel scared to come and tell you anything if they're in trouble. The last thing you want when they're in their teenage years, they're out at a party and there's a lot of drinks and God forbid anything else going around, but they're too scared to come and tell you because they're scared they're going to be told off or anything like that. Make it a safe line of communication, that if anything is wrong, they feel perfectly safe to come and talk to you, where they know that you're not going to tell them off, you're only going to help them. I'm doing that now with my son at such a young age. So as he gets older, he already knows that it's safe to come and talk to me, and his dad does exactly the same. So if he can't get hold of me, he can call his dad, and neither of us are going to tell him off. All we want to do is help. And once we've got him home, we can talk to him about it and guide him and advise him in different ways that he could have handled the situation. But this way, try and have that good line of communication open with your child as early as possible, so when it gets to the point where they're much older, they feel safe to come and talk to you. If they're in trouble at a party or something's happening to a friend, they know that you are a safe person that is going to help them and not punish them or shout at them or scream at them. I'm going to show you something that is nothing to do with child safety but more car safety, but I bought it the other day because I saw it on Instagram and I feel like I need one of those. I've now got two. I've got 2 of them. They're about £8 on Amazon, and it's this little thing and it's called a Rescume. And I think it's really, really important, and my son is being taught how to use it. So with this little end here, if you are ever, God forbid, in a car accident, or if you see a car accident and somebody is trapped in the car, you can take this little bit here and right in the corner of the window by the wing mirror, you pop this there and you hit it as hard as you can, and it will smash the window so you can escape. Now, for any reason you are trapped with a seatbelt, also with this, you pull the key ring and you pull as hard as you can and you pull it out. Now in here, you will see a little blade. Can you see that blade? So what you do there is you put the seatbelt in and you push up, and it will rip the seatbelt off. So it will cut the seatbelt in half, so it will give you a chance to escape. Now, the reason I'm teaching my son how to use this, and obviously I'm being very careful with the blade, is because if, God forbid, we were in a car accident and I was knocked unconscious, he knows how to use one of these to get us to safety. There is one on my key, so I can just pull my keys out, and there is one on the sun visor thing that you have coming down. So we've got 2. So he knows where they are, just in case, God forbid, anything was to happen, he knows what to do. Now, I've got a lot more child safety tips that I can share with you. If you want a part 2, do let me know in the comments below and I will do a part 2. If you want road safety, car safety, or female safety tips as well, again, do let me know in the comments and I will get those videos up for you. I'm not doing this to scare anybody, but my anxiety can go through the roof sometimes, even just watching a TV show. And therefore, to calm my anxiety, I always research different ways that I can protect and look after my son and myself, so that if God forbid anything was to happen, I've got all the tools and the knowledge in place. I'm not doing this to scare you. I'm doing this to make you aware and to help you if anything else went wrong, because I do believe that knowledge is power, and the more you know, the better equipped you are to look after yourself. So thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you like this video, do give me a thumbs up. It lets me know that you like these kind of videos and also helps the channel as well. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. If you're not new here but yet to subscribe, then please consider doing so. And if you have subscribed, liked, commented or shared, thank you so much for your continued support. I really do appreciate it. I hope whenever you're watching this, you're having a good morning, good day, or good evening, and I will see you on the next one. Bye guys.